joining us at the Nuggets from Within podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Welcome to the Nuggets from Within podcast. I am your host, Apostle Teresa S. Johnson. Did you know that laughter is like a medicine? Well, then why are you not laughing? Did you know that a cheerful disposition is good for your health, but gloom and doom leave you bone tired? In other words, a healthy heart is good medicine. Did you know that a joyful mind causes healing? That's something to think about. I was reading in Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22, where it said, a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. You know, I've been dealing with the loss of my dad, and tears will stream at any given moment. And then I'll feel like this lump in my throat and my jaws will begin to hurt and I can't breathe. And you know, the grief symptoms. But in the midst of figuring out how to move through it, I found out that it's okay to allow my personality to shine through, even when there's grief. I was sitting among the chaplains one night, and as we were going over our verbatims, all of a sudden, while I was role playing, I couldn't talk. I couldn't breathe. Grief literally tried to snatch my voice. And all I could do was put up the 1 minute finger, and they were extremely patient and they were empathetic and they gave me my moment. And then suddenly I could breathe again and I could talk again. And the first thing out of my mouth was, why y'all not crying? And I began to laugh. And I think I laughed so hysterically, but they didn't know if it was okay to laugh. But I sure did. And can I tell you, laughter is never wrong. It's not wrong. So remember the movie Steel Magnolias? And of course, there are two different versions and I like them both. But it was the scene where the actor Sally Fields was at the grave and her daughter had passed and she had this loud outburst and she was so angry and she said, I just feel like hitting somebody. And then her friend, the character Weezer, she was standing there with some other women and they grabbed Weezer and they threw her in front of Sally and they said, here, hit Weezer, knock her lights out. And can I tell you, they laughed until they cried. And it was hilarious because it lightened the moment. And sometimes we just need to lighten the moment. I remember recently my niece and I had gone to my dad's grave. And when we got in the vehicle, she was crying and I was over there crying. And I said to her, my jaws hurt. And I had a lump in my throat. And she said, Aunt Teresa, that's because you need to let it out. You got to let it out. And so me bringing humor to it, I took a tissue and I put it over my mouth and I started making these crazy sounds like, oh. But can I tell you, we both burst out laughing and it felt good. And so I want to ask the question, what else are you going to do with the emotions that you're feeling from grief? I know many people suffer through periods of denial where they refuse to accept the reality that their loved one is gone. I know that. And I know that that's a defense mechanism that helps us to protect ourselves from the shock of my loved one is gone. I'm not going to see him again. And I know also that when you avoid the topic in conversation about your loved one being gone, or when you refuse to deal with it, those emotions, they really don't care what you say out of your mouth. Eventually, they're going to rise to the surface. And you're going to be sitting over there going, huh. And so I know some people who experience anger. And to be honest with you, that's a natural response. I mean, it may seem hurtful or offensive to your family, but anger is just a manifestation of grief. And some people experience a short temper, or they blame themselves, or they blame others, and some even are angry with God. I also know some people may feel so overwhelmed that they begin to try to bargain with God. And they attempt to negotiate or make compromises, especially when they feel like that they don't have any control over the situation. But 9 times out of 10, that's irrational. And it's actually not effective. But I also know some people who go into a depression. and they can't sleep. They lack energy. They lose interest in the activities that normally would bring them joy. They have feelings of depression, and that's a natural reaction to grief. I mean, we don't want to stay in depression. And that's why I'm introducing laughter to you right now, because before you get to the acceptance stage, you have to grab onto whatever inspirational, whatever encouraging, whatever uplifting thing you possibly can. You have to fight for your laughter. And then when you finally come to terms with accepting the reality of your loss, that's when we no longer deny or struggle against our grief. But instead, we work at focusing our energy on celebrating the life of the loved one, the life of the person. And we begin cherishing the memories that we shared with this person. And so I have personally found that the only way I can lift that pain from grief off of me is to laugh at the memories when I can. And when I can't laugh at the memories, that's when I cry unapologetically when I have to. And so today I experienced that same grief that we're talking about. And I was talking to my daughter, and she put on some music to try to lighten the mood. And we were listening to the chorus of a song, and I began singing, "Please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got." And when I got to the part, oh, I couldn't hit the notes, and we just burst out laughing. And it felt good. And so I know that pain is inevitable. I know that. And so what I do is I enjoy the days of peace that I have. And though I never stop talking about my dad, I remember the good days with him. And so I laugh. Y'all feel me? And so I want to show you something that someone gave me. Something. It's a like a picture that you can hang on the wall or something. And it said, "A raindrop landing on your cheek is a kiss from someone that lives in heaven and is watching over you." I hope that raindrop lands on your cheek. And I pray that one day soon, you can laugh until you cry tears of joy. But please, whatever you do, don't forget to laugh. Laughing is important. Laughing is necessary. And laughing will lift us above the pain that tries to grip us, the pain that wants to cause a lump in our throat, the pain that won't cause us to breathe. And so I'm going to stop there, but thank you so much. If you heard what I said, if you're going to apply it, if it meant something to you, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. God bless you.